Tell me a little bit about the Milkshake Twins.
Well, I like it, but I'm not sure Tony likes that name as much as I do. But it all started when we were visiting the Billy Graham Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tony and I were both invited to come and go through the facilities. And while we were there, we picked up a little chorus book. Well, Tony decided he wanted to sing some of those hymns. He had a Catholic background and he wasn't aware of them, but he said, I'd like to sing some of those. He said, let's call the batting practice pitcher. He always has a harmonica with him, and he'll play and we'll sing. Well, we did that night for about 3 hours. The next morning, went down for breakfast, and some of our teammates were sitting there, and you could tell they hadn't slept all night long. And we asked them what was the matter, and they said, well, there was some drunks up there who were singing all night long. Well, Tony got a kick out of that. We went into Chicago. We really needed to win. Yogi Berra was our manager. It was 1964, and we were about 8 games behind at that time, late in the season. He went down to Marshall Fields, and he bought 4 harmonicas. Gave me one. He took one. He gave one to Tommy Tresh, and then he gave one to Phil Lentz. Well, we lost 4 games in a row in Chicago. And we got on that bus going out toward O'Hara Airport. You could have heard a pin drop. And Phil Lentz, who hadn't played an inning of any of those games, chose this turn to learn how to play his harmonica. He was playing Mary Had a Little Lamb. Well, Yogi heard it, but he didn't say anything. When he played it again, Yogi jumped up and said, put that thing in your pocket. Phil said to those around him, he said, what'd you say? I couldn't hear him. And Mantle was sitting over nearby. He said he couldn't hear you. Played again, louder. Well, he did, and Yogi jumped up, grabbed a harmonica, threw it, he hit Pepitone, he called for the trainer. 7 reporters traveling with us, they all agreed he wouldn't print it. It would look like dissension on the ball club. But it was headlines in all the newspapers, and Phil Lentz was offered a $5,000 contract by a harmonica company. So much publicity came out of it. Yogi fined him $200. They finally, as we won the season that year and got into the pennant, they returned his $200 they fined him. He's made a fortune after that.